Before we get into a military intelligence style analysis and breakdown of the events that have transpired over in Israel over the last 24 hours, I would like to humbly request that everyone within the sound of my voice, please say a prayer for the Patriot nurse. Don't type one. Lift up your voice. Speak to God. I cannot imagine what she must be going through right now. I know she has loved ones and friends over in harm's way, and from the images that I've seen, I just cannot truly fathom what this must be like. Please say a prayer for her. Now, I know everyone has different colored opinions about what may or may not have led up to this. Who's to blame? I do know what the Bible says. And I don't take it any farther than this. I will make you a great nation. I will bless you and make your name great, and you shall be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and I will curse him who curses you. And in you all the families of the earth shall be blessed. This is from the book of Genesis. Now, I've heard so many people say, Florida Maquis, you've referred to Israel as God's chosen people. They are God's chosen people. But the people living over there right now are not really blah, 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 Ashkenat, Khazari, blah, 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 Nazar, Gazar. Then why are these people being attacked? Why did this attack occur? If this really isn't Israel, don't you think they would know? Don't you think the ones doing the attacking would know? You see, that's just a Nazi get-out-of-jail-free card is all it is. The United States and Israel, furthering our relationship, the United States prides itself on being the first country to recognize Israel as an independent state on May 14, 1948, only minutes after it was established. And what happened in the following years to the United States after 1948? Well, what did the Bible say? I will bless those who bless you. What was the United States? It was the shining city on the hill, a beacon to the world. That's what happened. You see, since then, we have forgotten a lesson. We have forgotten a lesson about our enemies. This is the battleship Missouri. This is the Imperium of Japan surrendering unconditionally. You see, that's what you do first. You defeat your enemy utterly and completely to the point where he can't even put up a fight. And then you make peace. You don't make peace with an enemy that can still attack you, because all they're going to do is use that time, ceasefires and non-aggressions back, to just build up their forces to attack you again. Perfection in war lies in so sapping your opponent's will that he surrenders without fighting. That would be ideal, but it's not usually the case. And say what you want. There was a warning. There was a warning that all of that Abraham Accords nonsense was falling apart. And yes, it was nonsense. It is just the last in a long line of failed attempts to try to deal with human vermin. How many dictators? A lot of people want to blame Biden in this. It was August the 2nd of this year when Biden released funds that had been frozen. Donald Trump's lying about this, by the way. There were funds, Iranian funds, that were frozen by the United States. About $6 billion. They were released. Donald Trump has posted that it was taxpayer dollars. It wasn't taxpayer dollars. It wasn't taxpayer dollars. It was money that was Iranian in origin that had gotten seized. And they released the hostages And this is August of this year. And we released the funds. This plan, what happened in Israel today, was not a plan that was hatched on August 2 of 2023. They had paragliders. They had thousands and thousands of rockets. They had people ready to go in and take hostages. This had been in the works for a long time. And they used this Abraham Accords nonsense as cover. And I put this little collage together just to show you who this guy was willing to shake hands with as long as they stroked his ego. See, when you put it together, it looks not so nice. You've got child trafficking sodomites over here. You've got Jeffrey Epstein over here. You've got a Saudi king here. You've got an Islamic dictator here. You've got an Asian dictator here. And they got them all sitting around with their little glowing globe. And this is who you want. Earlier today, I put this up, part of a post, to show you what an epic fail this was. This idea of normalizing full diplomatic relations between Israel and all of these countries that have sworn their own sacred oath to destroy Israel. They'll say anything. They will say anything. You see, it started with the UAE, and then it started with all these other countries that nobody cared about, Bahrain. But then something happened, and there's Morocco. This is what a lot of people don't get about the Abraham Accords. Most people have never even read them. See, there was this plan, 28 January 2020. Trump administration unveils Israeli-Palestinian peace proposal. A component of the plan envisioned applying Israeli law to or annexation of 30% of the West Bank. Well, you see, that's what led to everything else. People stepped in and said, no, we can't have this. We can't have this. If we're gonna sign this accord, they have to agree not to do this. You have to look back now and wonder if they had. See, this was a sneak attack. This was a sneak attack. Who remembers the Wrath of Khan? I know this seems silly, but think about it for a minute. Remember the Wrath of Khan? He comes cruising up in the USS Reliant, and the USS Enterprise sees another Federation ship, and they don't think, gosh, we're all one big happy Starfleet. So they've had no communication back and forth between the two ships. Enterprise has no idea who's in charge of that ship, and there's a regulation that says you're supposed to raise your shields. They don't. They don't. And what happens? It's the exact same thing. You want a real world? Non-aggression pacts. That's all the Abraham Accords were. The only reason any of those countries signed those accords was so they could gun up and they could get all sorts of weapons and preparation and whatever they needed to get into Gaza. Germany has concluded a non-aggression pact with Poland. Yeah, okay. And future President DeSantis already called it out. I was absolutely stunned and incredibly proud. He already said, on no uncertain terms, well, Trump is lying about this, and Lauren Boebert is lying about this, and Newsmax, and OAN, and Marjorie Taylor Greene, they're all lying about this. Every one of them. He said it was highly unlikely that the funds released by Biden, which was Iranian money in origin, it's not taxpayer money, had anything to do with this. Because this plan was hatched years ago. It would have taken years to plan to do what they did, especially to do it clandestinely. And you can read that in the article here. DeSantis blasts Biden for sleeping on the job. Which is another great point. Sometimes things don't happen on American time. And you need somebody that can be able to get out of bed at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. Another reason not to have an 80-year-old man whether it's Trump or whether it's Biden, be president, especially now. See, a 40-year-old guy like DeSantis, he can get out of bed. He can have a hard day, a long day, go to bed, 2 hours, 3 hours sleeps. Plus, he's former military. He's used to that. And he can get out of bed at 2 o'clock in the morning and he can function. 80-year-old men can't do that. They don't have their faculties. They don't have their ability to do it. Zechariah, it shall be on that day that I will seek to destroy all the nations that come against Jerusalem. That come against Jerusalem. So believe what you want. Say what you want. But I would be very careful about make-believing, ginning up some stupid story about, oh, it's not really God's people, all this crap. Because now it's getting real. Now it's here. Now we're going to see exactly how deeply ingrained and how much you really believe all that anti-Semitic bullshit. Because this is all going just like the Bible said it would. They shall cry peace and safety, and destruction cometh. And that's exactly what the Abraham Accords were. Period. And just so, this is the Patriot Nurses page here. Live prayer service tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. It is now 8:29 Eastern Time. But I just want to show you my post real quick, what I typed, just so nobody misquotes me. This was a few hours ago. Today's cowardly, vicious attack on Israel, God's chosen people, proves once again you defeat your enemies. You don't make fake, make-believe, temporary, meaningless accords with them. The plans and financing for this awful day were put in place long before the current president took office or any deals were made or funds released. The blame for this carnage now rests squarely on the shoulders of failed leader Donald Trump for being so ridiculously naive as to think these militant Islamists who have sworn the extermination of Israel to be their sacred goal would ever honor any negotiated peace. It was clearly now just a stalling tactic to plan, prepare, and stockpile weapons in Gaza, and he fell for it like the dotard simpleton he is. Hashtag Trump legacy. Hashtag Antichrist confirmed. Hashtag pray for Israel. This is the reality. And there's no way around it. This was the biggest head fake, and nobody caught it. So, once again, highest priority, pray with the Patriot Nurse later on. I've seen some of the images. There was one that will absolutely punch you in the gut. It's a bunch of guys in a Jeep, and they've got a female hostage, and it's, I can't even repeat any more than that. Not here. I wouldn't repeat. I wouldn't even repeat it at Patreon. What was going on? Please pray. God bless. Pray for Israel. Pray for the Patriot Nurse. Pray for each other. Pray for me. I'll pray for you. Lift each other up. God bless. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys next time.